You are listening to Win on KZKO. Check them out every Monday from 4 to 5 p.m. Mountain Time. Only on KZKO The Vibe.
Yeah! Listen up, partners. This is Good, Bad, Ugly on World Improv Network.
Good evening, everyone. I am Alex.
My name is Asa.
This is Jim. And we are your astute win counselors to get you through any problems you might be facing or any daily grind issues that you're currently experiencing. So let's get to our first winner. Our first winner is Josh from Chicago, Illinois. And Josh writes, Dear Win, what do you guys think of the first ever Major League Baseball game to not allow fans in the stadium during last week's game at Camden Yards between the Baltimore Orioles and Chicago White Sox? Well, what do you think, Jim?
I say it's about damn time.
Yeah.
You know, baseball is an incredibly boring sport,
right?
And a lot of people are just sitting in the stands listening to it on the radio anyway. So why even have them there? I say let's get rid of the stadiums overall. Let's do all no-fan baseball.
Mm-hmm.
You can film it and put it on TV or the radio if you want.
Where should they play it? Like out in the field, a cornfield in Iowa or something?
No, I think, I mean, that's one option, but like, you can just get rid of all the stands and keep the field. I think that would save a lot of space.
That would.
Then you can turn all that parking and stadium area into
condos.
Yeah.
Condos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or maybe make it, yeah, it'd be cool. Maybe, I think, that was pretty interesting too. I'm kind of in Jim's, camp on this one about how amazingly boring baseball can be to watch. However, the one thing that you do miss by not being in the stands, I guess, is, are the cardiac arrest inducing hot dogs and all the peanuts that you can throw and then all the beer that you can drink to get a DUI with. So that's kind of the one thing that does suck about that game not taking place like that. The city of Baltimore probably lost out on some DUIs. The doctors and the hospitals, which they have a lot of good ones, I guess, in the area.
I'm sorry. Lost out on some DUIs?
Right. That's a revenue stream for them. I mean, it's kind of like that one piece they were talking about. God, who was it? You know how the IRS is actually increasing the tax burden on people by having the parking services.
It was this really whiny guy, Timothy Snyder.
Yeah, that dude was pretty whiny. He did not pitch a good case on it. However, I could see where he was coming from. I mean, I could definitely see it. And in this case,
to be fair, it's really hard for one man to fight the entire government system on his own.
That is true. That is true. But I think he did have like 25 or 30 million petitions behind him for the case. I mean, so he just didn't present it well. I mean, I think he probably needs some confidence, maybe needs some public speaking courses. Then he might have had a better chance. But the IRS is a beast. You're right, Jim. It's tough to beat those guys. But anyway, that's revenue that they're missing out on if you take those stadiums down. Outside of that, I could care less if they played in a basement. What if you could play baseball in a basement? What do you think, Ace?
My take on the situation is that it's a bummer. I mean, personally, I enjoy going to a ball game. I think it's a fun thing to do with a group of friends. Have some drinks, have some grub.
How much of the game do you actually watch while you're there?
Maybe half. I mean, that's the thing I like about baseball is that you don't have to constantly. You can kind of tune in and out. It's like something that's going on while you're having a picnic. But anyway, regarding the question about this being the first Major League Baseball game to not be attended, I think it's a bummer. But at the same time, I think we're going to see that this turns into a trend because this was they made that call for people's safety,
right?
And so I think we're going to see this is going to be a growing safety trend.
Oh.
We're going to see more and more events unattended.
To cut back on the DUIs and the cardiac arrest from the hot dogs.
Yeah, I mean, the safest place is just to stay at home.
Right.
So I think we're going to see movie theaters. People aren't going to go to the movies. They're going to be screening movies to empty theaters.
Churches?
Church, yeah. Yeah.
School plays.
Yeah.
School plays for sure.
And it's all in the name of safety, so that's kind of a trump card.
Oh, they were thinking outside the box is what you're saying, so they actually did it for the greater good.
I mean, we'll see.
Okay.
We'll see how great it gets.
Well, all right, Marek from Denver, Colorado writes, he says, Dear Win, do you think the mayor of Baltimore, going back to Baltimore here, is setting up Baltimore to burn or advocate anarchy in the future by allowing riots and civil unrest to escalate over a man who had 20 criminal court cases filed against him? Wow, I didn't know that. And spent numerous times in jail for heroin dealing and burglary. That's a pretty deep question. Ace, what do you think?
What did the mayor do?
Well, I think what Mark is insinuating here is that Baltimore is being set up to burn or to have complete anarchy when another incident breaks out because of how the situation unfolded last week over a man, I guess Freddie Gray here is who he's referring to, had 20 prior criminal court cases filed against him, so he's been arrested numerous times, and he's actually spent time in jail for dealing heroin and burglary. So by not being proactive, I guess, in preventing, the unrest, he's thinking, is Baltimore setting itself up to be burnt down to the ground at some point in time?
I don't know.
Okay.
I just got to say, I don't think heroin and burglary are that big of an offense. Like, let's be honest, he's not really hurting anybody there.
Clearly.
Yeah.
Clearly. Well, I mean, you might be onto something. And they should, if they want to burn down Baltimore, it should be for like a Burning Man East, is what they ought to do. Should be a Burning Man East.
Burning City.
Yeah, Burning City. Yeah, Burning City Festival, and do it out in Baltimore, and then takes all the politics and all the things that are going on out there right out the play and just burn the place down, start from scratch that way. Huh. That's what I think, Mark. So I think the mayor was actually thinking that's what they wanted to do, is they're trying to see, well, can we get enough interest, enough burning going on here that we could actually sustain a festival and call it Burning City. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. All right, well, Floyd from Perth, Australia writes, he says, Dear Win, I heard one of the Windcast members is into climbing and mountaineering. Is that true? What effect do you guys think the tragic earthquake and avalanches that swept through Nepal and Mount Everest a week ago will have on future adventure tourism in the country and mountaineers seeking to climb Mount Everest?
Hey, Asa, are you into mountaineering?
Yeah, that's
right.
I was just about to jump in and say I'm that guy.
What do you think about that? What do you think is going to happen to adventure tourism and the mountaineers that are seeking to climb Everest now in lieu of this earthquake and avalanche that swept through base camp?
Well, I was talking to my climbing partner, and we were talking about it, and his take on it was that this is going to be a huge blow to the industry,
right?
Because basically the whole season is shot, and this is 2 years in a row. He was saying that due to weather conditions.
Really?
Well, this is what he said.
Right.
You might know him, Alex.
Okay.
I think you met him before.
Huh. So then because of the 2 years in a row that Everest has been shut down and because of the blow that's been going on over there with the earthquake as well, what do you think is going to happen? I mean, you're an expert here in this industry.
Right. I am an expert here in this industry, this field. I am a top mind, relatively speaking.
You're amazing on the ropes too.
Ropes, glaciers. Yep. I can do a pretty good, wall crawl.
Mm-hmm.
I'm known for spider monkey style.
Spider monkey style, that's cool.
And I do a lot of free climbs.
Right.
No ropes, untethered, speed runs up, 80% grades.
I heard a couple guys that kind of do that stuff, like a guy named Alex Honnold and a Uli Steck from Switzerland. He's an amazing mountaineer as well.
Yeah, we hang out all the time.
Oh, damn. What do you think, Jim? I mean, I know you're not a mountaineer. What do you have to add to this whole thing?
What is this not a mountaineer? Alex, do I not put out that vibe?
Well, it's not that. I'm thinking that, you could probably bring a perspective that's a little bit outside the mountain, more like a level-headed astrophysic perspective.
Well, I mean, I think a lot of what we've already covered is true. It's a terrible tragedy, but I think anybody that wants to climb Everest, that special breed of people that have that kind of heart and that kind of huevos, they're going to find a way to do it. Whether that mountain is shaking and avalanching or if it's just chilling, waiting for people to get on top.
That's just naive, Jim. That's not how mountain climbing works.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I believe in the power of the human spirit, Asa. And it can overcome.
Yeah, but Asa has a lot of technique, training, and a lot of experience. That goes a long way as well.
And there are just physical limitations, all right?
That's true. That's very true. Winter, I don't really have anything to add to this. I don't know anything about mountaineering or climbing at all, but I appreciate the question. Send it to us, and I hope Asa gave you some insight, and maybe even Jim from a spiritual standpoint. Well, anyway, I think we have time for one more little thing to get you through the rest of the week.
Oh, we can't. The ruse is up. Alex is the expert. He's the one that does the stuff. We're all just Jim and I are just a couple of goofballs, though Jim actually knows astrophysics stuff.
Yeah, Jim, you were actually an astrophysics major at Penn State, weren't you?
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, and you actually got a degree in that field.
I do.
Yeah.
And then I failed out of getting a second degree.
Hey,
what was that in mountaineering?
Oh, no, PhD in astrophysics.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, PhD.
I never got even... Well,
jeez.
I don't want to go there.
Well, make us feel small, Jim. Make us feel dumb.
Did I mention that I failed out of that? Did we cover that part?
Or was that quitting?
Yeah, yes, both. I quit before I failed out.
Well, anyway, yeah, I know a couple things about mountaineering, a handful of things, not a lot, but these two guys put me up to it now. So I'll give you a quick 30-second response there on what I think is going to happen. Well, the north side of the mountain, which is the Tibetan side of the mountain of Everest, that was just shut down as well, and the Chinese just use that as an excuse to shut the mountain down. They really don't want expeditions there. The south side of the mountain is a little bit more complicated because it's an economic thing for the Nepalese government. It generates a ton of money. So then you can't take away also the human spirit and the desire to climb the mountain, as Jim was saying, and as Asa...
Or spider monkey style.
Or spider monkey styling, which would be an amazing first spider monkey up Everest. And maybe that would be the next attempt right there. You just giving someone an idea to go climb Everest in a different way that hasn't been climbed before. But I think what it's going to do in the near term, yes, tourism for the rest of the year might be really, really impacted in Nepal because there's a lot of trekking going on over there. Usually there's also a lot of sightseeing, which they can't have access to those villages. With regards to Everest, I think they'll have Everest up and running next year again. However, they might have a couple adjustments that may need to be made from the south side. And the north side of the mountain is going to be strictly a coin flip to the Chinese, whatever they feel like doing. So anyway, that's my little two pieces of information that I have there, Winter. And we have one more little bit of piece of information to get you the rest of the week, known as Horoscope Corner.
Love, fortune, status. Let us do your astrological chart. Horoscope Corner on World Improv Network.
Leo, that's a horoscope. Go to the World Improv Network on YouTube. Subscribe, like, go to World Improv Network on iTunes. To leave stars, leave reviews, subscribe to the podcast. Check us out on Facebook, World Improv Network. Like us. Have a good day, Leos.
Thanks for listening to Win on KZKO. Don't forget to interact with the cast by sending your suggestions for each segment throughout the week by hitting them up on Facebook at World Improv Network, Twitter at World Improv Net, or the Win KZKO blog. See you next week.